Today we're going to work on free motion quilting, pebbles, free motion quilting pebbles. Maybe help some of the people that are just getting started in the free motion world. Okay, the feed dogs put down. The feed dogs are down. I have a free motion foot on there, and there's lots of different free motion foots. I like the ones that have a spring. So it's got a little spring right there, and it hops, and that's what I like. Go with what I have success with, and that's what you have to do with the free motion quilting. You have to start with, find the one that works best for you. Okay, first thing you're going to do is bring up your bobbin thread. I have the bobbin line thread in the bobbin. That's because the bobbin can hold more thread, so you don't have to change the bobbin so often. And it's the same weight as the embroidery thread. So I'm just going to put my needle down and then back up again, and that should pull up my bobbin thread. Threads to be in underneath that open toe bobbin feet too, and they work really, really good. A lot of people really like those. And there's clear ones with open toes, and they work really good too. Okay, so I'm ready to go. It doesn't matter about my stitch length. Press your foot down, and look where I've got my hands. I'm circling, and this is what, I don't even have anything on my hands because this is a small project, and I can grip it. And often I grip it with my fingernails. I'll use my fingernails to guide me. So you let the needle go down, but you don't move it while it's down. You let it sink in there and get in there. Now I let it go 2 or 3 times to back stitch it because I'm lazy, and I don't like my threads and burying the threads. So then once I got it in there and I've got my hands, I've got it circled, and I just move it slowly to get the rhythm. But I'm consciously thinking of letting it do its thing before I move on to the next stitch. So I did a circle, and now I'm trying to follow the circle around again. Now, you don't have to do that when you're doing this, when you're doing the pebbles, but it just gives it more color. Go off to another circle. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because you have to find your own speed that works for you. Now you make small ones and you make big ones. Cut those threads off now. They're there. They've done their job. They're secured. There. Got it out. Okay, so now I'm going to continue. And the only way you can get that is by practice. When you get that rhythm, and Angela Walters says that, you sort of slow down and you speed up, and you're oh, there I went off the line. That's all right. You make mistakes, that's okay, because who's going to notice it? The only person that's going to notice it is a person who can do this better than you. And I wouldn't worry about them. If they're any kind of a quilter and they can do this better than you can, they will encourage you. They will say, oh, you're getting it. It's working for you. There's not a lot of tension in my shoulders right now. I'm keeping my shoulders nice and straight. And my hands are just barely pressing on the fabric. Some of my stitches are bigger than others. I don't have a stitch regulator. I don't need one. Again, if somebody is looking at my stitches that close, then they're not a good quilter. They're not a quilter. I have seen some professional work. I've seen some quilts done by very professional quilters, and their stitching is not totally accurate. This is a homemade thing. Only way you can get something accurate if you program it in a machine and the machine does the work. This is the fact that you're giving somebody or you're doing something organic. So these are the pebbles. And I find I like these as a filler inner. Now, I'm just going to try and get the same thing all the way around here. Now, if this was Claudia, she would say, oh, I'm bored now. Claudia from Germany, she said, oh, I'm bored now, I'll do something different. So what she would do is she would start echoing those. So you can do that too, okay? When you get tired of where you're going, just echo back. Just use your presser foot as your guide for distance, but it doesn't have to be exact. Again, if it's exact, if something is exact, it's a machine that has been programmed to get it exact. You are a person, and you are giving it an organic look. Don't be shy. The only thing you can do wrong is if you are not letting the needle go all the way down and all the way up before you move. That's the big thing that you have to watch for. If you don't let it do that, then you'll get what they call eyelashes. And I'll show you the back here in a minute, but I want to show you another stitch, the same idea as this. So I'm just finishing up this echoing. Okay, now here I'm going to stop and I'm going to go into more pebbles, but this time I'm going to elongate the pebbles. So I'm going to go oval shape. See, one stitch is longer than the other one there. That's all right. When you go over them again, then the stitching comes up darker. Shift your hands. Stop before you shift your hands. Don't shift your hands while the machine is working. If you want to shift your hands, stop the machine, then shift. The faster you go, the smaller your stitching will be. But you sort of have to have it in your mind where you're going. When you start off, you sort of got to plan and like, this is, see now I'm planning here in my mind, I'm going to go back here a little bit and then I'm going to branch off into another circle right here. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm going here, then I'm moving back to make another circle. So it's just like driving a car. You plan where you're going to aim towards and where you're going to go, and you have it in your mind, and then off you go. Again, don't shift your hands while the machine is stitching. Now, I'll echo around there one time, just to give it a more finished look. These pebbles and echoing are my favorite machine quilting stitches. There are other ones that I really like. See, I tried to shift my hands when while the machine was still stitching, and I got a little boop there. But nobody's going to notice that except another machine quilter, and they won't say anything. They won't say anything. If they do, they're not being kind. Just do your best. And remember, you're making something that's handmade that a lot of people can't do. All right, I'm going to go one more round for the echoing, and then I'll show you my other favorite stitch. The other one that I really like to do is the spiral. And the spiral is just this way. You do a spiral in. You do a spiral out. You echo it as many times as you want. Then you can start another spiral. Spiral in, spiral out, running out of room. So I'll just go to there and I'll stop and I'll do an echo. I get that pin out of there. And then I'll do another echo. I'm going to do another spiral right in here. With an echo. With another echo. I'm going to do another echo and fill in this spot right in here. I'm going in there. All right, now I'm going to do a spiral in here. With an echo. If you look at different machine quilters online, McTavishing, you've heard of McTavishing. She just has her favorite 2 or 3 different stitches that she uses over and over again, and she renamed it McTavishing. Like, she renamed it after herself because those are her favorite stitches, and she does them so well, and she's practiced them so long that she's become an expert at them, and that's all it is. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of practicing and enjoying the process. My shoulders are not tense at this point. I've slowed down a little bit because I'm in a little more precarious area. I'm going to move my thing around. Okay, it's a little more difficult doing a big quilt because of the weight of the quilt. Okay, so and you only have so much room with the table. Okay, if you have a big table with a lot of room here, you can do a lot more, and you can only come out as far as the bed will let you here. Okay, I'm running out a little bit of room here, so I'm just taking my time to fill in. Back to the start. So I've just got to fill in this little bit right here with echoes and a couple more swirls, and that's it. I'm done. Okay, now I've come to the end, so I'm just going to backstitch a little bit. That's it. I'm not seeing any eyelashes because I was very, very particular about letting the needle go down and up before I moved it to the next step. Okay? So that's Machine Quilting 101. It's the biggest thing you have to do is just practice. And I used to get eyelashes a lot when I first started until I got so I could let it stay down there. Let the needle go down and come up before I moved to the next step. And you can only get that with practice. Okay, that's it. I'm done.